Welcome to Lori Tries Life. And last week we had the Temperance card, and I like to define temperance by the card that precedes it and the card that follows it. And that is to say that the Death card, which is the card that precedes it, is a card of permanent change, a transformation, sometimes even an actual death. It just depends on the cards around it and everything, but it's definitely a transformation. So in your new life or new being, because we're always becoming, so in our new becoming, like our butterfly we've become, the temperance cautions us to be moderate in the things that we do. Okay, it says, okay, up until this point you've learned a lot. Now I need to teach you self-discipline, how to not have too much or too little, but just that in that sweet spot. So if you don't, I look at it this way, if you don't pay attention to temperance, which is number 14, then what's going to come next is 15, the devil. And that is almost the opposite of temperance, right? It's about excess. It's about addictions that we can't break free from. So that's the point I wanted to make about temperance. And it has a lot to teach us. And we would be better off if we learned it. I certainly need to learn it. I am such a black and white kind of person that is very hard for me to be in the middle. So we'll shuffle the cards, and we're going to find out what our new energy is for the week, for the day, for whatever you feel is appropriate, just to think about it, you know. Now I'm going to put the Temperance in the middle here. Got Ace of Swords right now on the bottom, Star on the top, but we haven't shuffled yet, so. And if you're wondering about my cute little things here, I get a rash. I used to get a rash every year when I was 10. And it stopped like years ago, but every now and then I'll get just a little like dermatitis. It's just not very attractive. And it's cold in here, and so I thought I'd wear these. They're cute, aren't they? I don't know what it is. Little bunnies. And it's so true that once we experience those harsh moments or harsh years, but once we experience those, the good times are even that much more great. I have been shuffling this for quite a while, so let's get down to it and see what the energy for the next week is, or rather, the energy that we want to focus on. So not necessarily predictive. Ace of Wands. Whatever you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. You know, I haven't seen this for a long time. So this is the Ace of Wands, which I love this card in a lot of decks. They do really neat things with it. And it's the Ancient of Days by William Blake in a private collection. And Von Goethe, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe is the quote, "Whatever you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it." So I never gave you a question with regard to temperance that you can answer down below, or if you want to in your journal. And I think it's important that I do so. And my question would be to myself and to you out there who's listening, what different worlds do you straddle? How does that make you feel? What are the advantages and disadvantages? So if the devil is excess of what we want, and we are able to separate ourselves from that, then temperance is straddling our wants and our needs, perhaps our subconscious and our conscious. What is out of balance that temperance would be a good lesson for you? And then with our Ace of Wands, the Ace of Wands is an ignition, a spark of creativity. What are you going to do with that creativity? What are you doing with that creativity? But the question I have for that is, look back into when you were very little, like 5 to 10, 11. How did you use your creativity? What did you do? How did you use it? And then if you think about your teenage and young adult life, how did you use that creativity? Was it different? Was it different when you were able to be out on your own, whether you lived at home or not, but to have your own agency or your own free will? I want you to look at both types of creativity, and they may be the same, but when you were quite little and you had a spark of creativity when you were 5 through 12, what did that look like? And then when you grew apart from your parents, and I only say grew apart meaning that there's a point when we're really small, we think if our parents don't exist, if mom doesn't exist, I don't exist. But there's a time like 12, maybe 11, maybe 13, when you realize that you can survive. Not that you would want anything to happen to them, but there's a sense of self that you develop as a teenager and definitely as a early young adult in your 20s. So how is your creativity different then and now? Or is it? So those are just some questions to ponder. I want to thank you for stopping by and looking at my weekly pulls. And if you come across this, it's just something to ponder, something to consider. Or if you want to every week come by and just see how our polls are progressing and what questions you can answer, that would be great too. Usually I post them Sunday. I didn't, but Sunday or Monday. So thanks for being with me, and I hope that all is well. And until next time, this is Lori Tries Life. Bye-bye.